And welcome everybody to another edition of RF Sports Radio. Man, I've waited all day to do this podcast and the time has come. It's finally time for us to say end of the season for our Dallas Mavericks as they lose a heartbreaker last night, 106-88 to the Boston Celtics. It really wasn't close the entire game. Celtics are now the NBA champions, kind of a team that was really built for this championship is finally there. Jaylen Brown gets the MVP. And the Mavericks are done. The season's over with. So we're going to talk about a few things today. Get a couple things off my chest. Get a couple things out of my mind. And try to get focused on, this summer. Which now we're in the dog days of summer, as they say. No basketball. Football hasn't started yet. And all we have right now is baseball to talk about. But let's talk about the game. So the Celtics, as I mentioned, they really put it on the Mavs from start to finish. I mean, after that first quarter, they kind of kept that lead. Mavericks really didn't get close at all for the rest of the game. And we talked about before the game, we needed Kyrie to show up. We needed him to finally exercise his demons for being a Boston Celtic, exercise his demons of being in the TD Garden, and have a big game. And he only gave us 15 points last night, was minus 11 on a plus minus, and was 5 for 16 from the field. I'm not too worried about in the future, Kyrie, but man, we really needed a game from you last night, bro. We needed something special from you and Luka. Luka finished with 28. Kyrie, we need you to get us 28 as well, too, or 25 at least. But I feel like it's hard for me to not feel like had we played any other team besides Boston, that he wouldn't have had a better series. He just couldn't do it. He just could not do it inside the arena for whatever reason. And he wasn't the only one. Other players didn't step up either. P.J. Washington had 4 points. Darren Gafford only had 6. And even my guy Lively off the bench only had 2 points after having a big game in Game 4 to get us the win. Only had 2 points last night and only had 2 rebounds. 4 rebounds, 2 points in 24 minutes is not going to be any kind of help to us whatsoever. So the Celtics win, and really, before I get into kind of deep diving into the Mavs this season, let's talk about the champions real fast. They won 64 games this year. They were 37-4 at home the entire year. They only lost 3 games in the postseason. So they will go down, whether we like it or not, as one of the better teams in NBA history for the simple fact of what they've done and the numbers that they put up, both offensively, the amount of three-pointers they made and shot this season, and, of course, the fact that they didn't lose that many games in the postseason. So they will go down as one of the best teams ever. Regardless of how you feel, how you look at it, statistically, they're just right there. This team, the reason why I'm not so mad about them winning is because, let's face it, they were built for this over the last 6 years. Since they drafted Tatum and drafted Brown, they've been on this path to try to come up with a way to win this game. They've been to the finals before. They've lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. This team was right there on the precipice of being an NBA champion, and they finally got there. My hat's off to the organization, Brad Stevens and everybody else, for kind of sticking to the course and trying to figure it out, because they have put a lot of players around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Al Horford. I mean, think about some of the things they made. They got rid of coaches. Brad Stevens took a job in the front office. They got rid of their coach, Ime Udoka, who after he took them to the finals. They got a brand new coach who's never coached in the NBA before. They got rid of Marcus Smart. They got rid of Kyrie Irving after bringing him in. So they've done everything they've done to get to this moment. So I'm not really upset about them winning, because let's face it, they built this team to win, and they've done everything you're supposed to do as an organization, as a franchise, to get to that point. The addition of Drew Holiday, the addition of Porzingis, all that played a big factor in their success this season. So it's hard to be mad at a champion when you know what they've been through, you know all the changes that they made, you know the stuff that's been talked about, especially with Tatum and Brown, and for them to make it there. And then for Jaylen Brown to get the MVP, I thought that was very fitting. Many people thought Jason Tatum would get it. I thought Jason Tatum would get it with the night he had. but getting Jaylen Brown that MVP nod was huge. People still gonna have something to say about Jason Tatum. It is what it is. If y'all remember when Steph Curry went to his first finals, won his first NBA championship, Andre Iguodala was the MVP. And it took a while for them to kind of get Steph the MVP because KD was MVP one time. So it just happens, you know what I mean? In the finals things, in matchups and series, other guys had to step up, and Jaylen Brown did that. So there's no mark against Jason Tatum and his talent for the fact that Jaylen Brown got the MVP. I mean, as Jaylen Brown said, they're partners in crime. One couldn't have done it without the other. So no harm, no foul there whatsoever. But the team was built for this. And so it finally ends in the championship. Their 18th championship. They're in Boston. And they did it right there on their home floor. Very seldom does that even happen. But them having a chance to do that, celebrate their home fans, hats off to them. Great series, great season. And you guys deserve to win that. You guys dominated the series. Dominated every series. Let's be real. So you guys did a good job with that. Now on to our Dallas Mavs. What I want Mavs fans to do today is to really lift this team up. This team at the beginning of the season was not an NBA championship or NBA finals caliber team at the beginning of the season. My hat goes off to Nico Harrison. My hat goes off to Jason Kidd, Luka, Kyrie. The changes that they made, in the trade deadline, the drafting of Derek Lively in the draft, all of that led to this point, man. So they really, in my eyes, overachieved. I'm very happy with the season that they had. We all should be, because no one had them pegged to be in NBA Finals this year. I think they're kind of a year ahead of where they need to be. And I think the future is so bright that Luka's gonna understand from this loss what he needs to do to get better for the next time it goes around. He's gonna train better. I think he's gonna come back in great shape. He's gonna have some off season to kind of get his body right. I don't know if he plays the Olympics or not. Depends if he gets surgery or not. I know he wants to play, but he's gonna come back a lot better. I think the team's gonna mesh. The team's gonna gel. Derek Lively, as a rookie, what he did this season, he is going to be your number 3. I mean, I regardless of what you guys think, I know PJ had a good season. Derek Lively is the next star to pair with Luka Doncic going forward. What he did as a rookie, we haven't seen many rookies be able to do that, especially at the center position. It just doesn't happen. We saw Shaq do it, take his team to the finals, but man, I just never seen a rookie at center position act the way he did in a long time. Being only 19, young guy going through what he went through, losing his mom, and then now NBA Finals, they lost. I think it's going to build a lot of character for that team. They're going to have a bad taste in their mouth going into next season. You can tell if they're serious about it, because even they didn't do any kind of extra interview back here in Dallas. They did everything right after the game, and that was it, because they want to move on. They want to move on to next season. They want to get started with NBA free agency, making moves, getting deals done, because this team will get better. There's no doubt about it. In the West, where things can be tough, we always know the West is one of the toughest conferences out there. Trust me, the Mavericks are going to make a lot of moves. They're going to be right in the thick of things for a long time to come. And I feel pretty confident today saying that one day Luka Doncic will be an NBA champion. If you watch this series, and for you guys that have been saying Luka's the reason why they lost, you don't know basketball. Plain and simple. You don't know basketball. People that are saying that, he should have passed it more. Pass it to who more? Who was going to get them the buckets they needed besides Luka? Kyrie wasn't doing anything. PJ Washington had 4 points. Gafford wasn't doing nothing. He can't make a move. Derek Jones wasn't doing anything. No one on the bench came in and did anything. You did have Josh Green with 14 points. So who is he going to pass the ball to if the guys are not shooting well? What can he do? So this narrative about he did too much or he cost them the series with that ejection in game 3 is all nonsense, complete nonsense. Because I'm gonna tell you, there's no way we get here. There's no way we win game 4. There's nothing that happens if Luka doesn't play the way that he played. So that narrative needs to go away and die. Seriously. It's crazy talk. You guys just don't know NBA. You don't know basketball if you're going to say that Luka's the reason why they lost. It's point blank and simple. Well, today, I'll let Boston be the champs today. We'll talk about NBA free agency as it goes along. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming for that. Hats off to Boston Celtics. Mavericks, you did a great job. I'm going to clap you guys up. You guys did great this season. I'm excited about next season. I'm excited about the moves you guys are going to make in the offseason. And we'll be right here to cover it right here on RF Sports Radio. Stay tuned.